Alright, so today is a big day. What we're doing today is we're going to attempt to cast our very first part. That would be that box right over there with the sand. And if you're wondering about my voice, I may have caught the Rona. I don't know yet. And I'm not going to get tested to find out. Taking Dr. Zelenko's Z-Stack protocol, following the dosage guidelines for quercetin, and so far I'm feeling okay. So anyway, we got the furnace warming up. Now there is a bit of a hitch. I have regular place sand poured into the form for the casting, which it has a little more moisture in it than I think I'm supposed to have. So I'm going to be wearing safety gear. I'm going to have a face shield. This has fairly thick sleeves and I can rip it off in a hurry. Now hopefully the sand is porous enough that if there is a lot of steam built up, that it can escape easily without a steam explosion, because that's what we're worried about. Steam explosion next to molten aluminum flings molten aluminum everywhere, and I get it all over my pretty face, and then you never watch me again. So yeah, we're going to try to avoid that. Okay, as you can see, we have our part. Our future part, hopefully. This is our test. Now, I do not believe this is okay. Let's backtrack here. Number one, the first way this is going to fail, I'm betting, is that I do not believe that there is enough capacity in this crucible to fill all of this. That's our first problem. Our second problem is this sprue here should be its own separate thing feeding in from the bottom down here, but I did this here because I already do not believe we have enough to do it, and I'm going to try anyway. So in that vein, I've got these two channels made out of drink straws going to hot glued to either side, and I have these air vents for the escaping gases for when the aluminum pours into the top here and begins burning away the foam and filling it in the space it used to occupy. And this is our can't see that. This is our riser over here, what's called a riser. This is the sprue, where the metal goes in. This is the riser. Now, like I said, air vents. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mix up some joint compound. This is 20-minute hot mud. And we're just going to mix it up very thin, because I want it to fill in all of this. And we're going to put a first coat on this side of it. The back side's not really all that big a deal, but this side has a lot of detail, so we're going to have to fill in this first. Okay, this is the first coat of wallboard mud applied. See all the globs and everything. Now there are all these little holes. I'm not going to be able to fill those with mud from what I can tell. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is those are going to be threaded rods sticking out anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can cast them in place. Not on this one though. I should probably try it on this one, but anyway, we'll see what I can do. Like I said, I'm expecting this casting to fail just because of capacity. So, hello. Okay. Now, since I saw you last, or you saw me, yeah, you saw me. Okay, we still have our coated part with our, okay, let's see. What I did was I took some plaster mix that I've been using as the refractory, and I filled these gaps because they're going to be pretty difficult to fill with sand. There's these little things right in here. Let's see if you can see that. Little inclusion divot kind of things where the wheels will go. Well, down here they weren't going to fill with sand very well, so I just filled them in that way. That should work, hopefully. Okay, I put a couple of bolts in to the holes to see if I can cast these in place, see how well they do. Alright, we have our vents, we have our sprue. This is what this is called. This is supposed to be separate. It's supposed to go down. It's supposed to come and flow in from the bottom up. This is our riser. It's supposed to be basically a mirror of the sprue, and as this goes up, it's supposed to fill up, indicating our liquid level like this. And once it gets up to here, everything is supposed to be filled. Now, whether it works that way, who knows? Okay, so to begin, we've got our bucket of aluminum ingots here. I'm going to be using prepared stock, not raw stock. I want to minimize the amount of crap as much as possible. So, like I said, we're going to be doing this already melted stuff that's already had all the crap removed out of it. Hopefully, that'll work. I'm going to use 7-year-old stuff. Aluminum in the crucible is not enough to fill up the crucible. There's a whole lot of gaps in between each ingot and a whole lot of dead air. So these extra ingots are picking up heat right now so that they'll melt quicker when they go into the crucible. So I just dropped the last ingot that I'm going to drop in there, I think. We're going to add some more fuel. We're going to ramp up the temp, and then we're going to pour. Okay, if you can see that, the aluminum has a dull orange color. That is exactly what we want. Get as much of the crap off as possible. Okay. And here goes. Go this way. Oops. Okay, so what we have determined is unfortunately exactly what I was afraid we were going to determine. Oh, you like the pile? Ever expanding pile of muffin tin ingots. Just poured out of this thing, and I have more than one I started. So here we go with a part. This is, I weighed it on a bathroom scale. This is 3.5 pounds if you're using Freedom units. If you're using the Devil's metric system, then well, the number will be somewhere on the screen. Yeah, kidding. But basically, more or less, what I expected to happen happened. I ran out of capacity, so this thing is supposed to go up here with an angle down here. There's supposed to be a riser going up and a sprue going up, and what ended up happening is this section didn't even finish casting. I ran out of material. Yeah, see that? It's hollow. That's where the sprue was. Let's see. Yeah, this whole section didn't finish casting because it just ran out of material. We're more or less about, I don't know, good, I'd say 3/4 of the way there. So I have a couple of different ways I can tackle this. And I should point out that this was the very first thing I've ever cast in my entire life out of metal. It's this. I think this went pretty well for a first cast. You know, it failed because I ran out of crucible capacity. Okay, that's pretty good. So okay. Anyway, like I said, I've got a couple of different ways I can attack this. I can I could keep these separate and cast them as separate pieces, because I have the capacity to do them separately, just not together. At least I believe I have the capacity in my current setup. I could do that. However, let's see. I believe a silicon carbide 6 kilogram or even 10 kilogram purchased crucible other than the welded up one, would in fact have the capacity to do this. And they're not that expensive, so would probably require a brand new furnace. And it would do it in one piece. Because the alternative is that I have to cast these in 2 pieces and perfectly drill 2 locating holes for 1/4-inch pins with no play in them, so that these things never move at all. Me perfectly drilling 2 pinholes so that they line up properly. Me perfectly drilling 2 holes. At this point, I'm sure you know what I'm going to do. So yeah, I think that's all I got for you this week, in this particular installment anyway. So yeah, we'll see you next time. God bless. Plaster of Paris was an absolutely terrible choice for a refractory binder. Don't know if you can see that from the color differences, but I just finished patching it again. Yeah. I have had to patch this thing every time I've used it. It started cracking and crumbling after the second use, actually. And since then, I've had to patch it literally every single time. We'll be switching to a different refractory.